Lampert. Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Candy? Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for visiting with us. I've got Adam Lampert here, who's with Manchester Care Living, Cambridge Homes. Did I get that right? Cambridge Care Homes?
Manchester Care Homes and Cambridge Caregivers.
Caregivers. That's right. Because these are two fabulous separate businesses that work together, all in the realm of taking care of those in need who need a great place to. If you need a great place to park your loved ones. And we have written so much about you guys throughout this whole pandemic because this was a very unprecedented time, of course, in our lifetime that we went through something that we never dreamed we'd go through. And you were in the business of taking care of and protecting everyone's loved ones in your wonderful home. So I'd like to talk a little bit about how you started the company, what your impetus was for a bit. Basically, I'll just let you tell briefly what your homes are, because I know there's two separate entities, correct?
Sure, right. Two sister divisions, if you will. Manchester Care Homes was started by my partner in 2009, and it was a classic case of he was looking for a place for his relative, and he looked around and he didn't like anything that he saw. And thus was the genesis of Manchester Care Homes, which is a residentially based home, a home just like yours or mine, except inside they were built specifically to care for seniors. And so you and I are neighbors. You and I have met on the Preston Trail. I've seen you walking your dog,
Oh, yes.
one of them. Looking forward to meeting the other one. And what's important about that is that when we were on the Preston Trail, we were less than a tenth of a mile from our care home.
Exactly.
And part of it's very close to us is the point, not just physically but emotionally. We are the owners, we're nearby, we are here. My partner Bill started the business with the intention of finding a place for his loved one, and we've approached it as local owners. And we have our hands on the operation. We know everyone who lives in our homes. We now have four residentially based homes in the North Dallas area. And the sister company, Cambridge, really was born from Manchester because our homes generally are full. And when they're full, people go, we still need care for mom or dad. We started sending our caregivers out to their homes. And thus was the genesis of Cambridge. But we're very focused on a high level, high touch senior care. Uh, you've been in our homes,
Yes.
Candy. You have experienced it. If there's a word that I would use to describe the operation, it's simply exceptional. Uh,
Oh, beyond, yes.
it's special, and when you visit us, you recognize that. And so, if your loved one has a need for the level of care that we offer, I really believe there's no better place. Our ratios in our operation are such that we're very focused on every single individual in our home. We're focused on engaging every single resident in our homes, meeting them exactly where they are, and we have the personnel and to do that, and that's really what sets this operation apart. On the exceptional, just at a different level. It's a great operation.
I can't say enough how important it is that this is not a huge, you know, uh, 500 company or a national company. This is a local business that you probably every day tune in and want to know what's going on in those homes. And the other thing that impressed me so much is that the homes are tailor made to the client or the person in need of assisted living, so that when they go there, they're not put in a white room or a beige room, with a hospital bed. They actually can personalize the room. They have their own bathroom. It's like basically a master bedroom is what it is. You have master bedrooms, for everyone. And then you allow them to personalize it to color, bring in their own furniture. That makes such a huge difference in people's lives. It can extend their life, for heaven's sakes.
Well, and we know that it does, and we know that focusing on the environment, just like what you described, when people can wake up in their own
Yeah.
bed
Yes.
see their own pictures on the wall, the walls, like you said, painted of the color that they want. But it's partially that, and the other part of that is the individual engagement, and
Right.
it is our ability to engage with people in the homes and recognize that those activities are so important. Physical activity is so important, and that you're right. Every single week, uh, our nurses, our nurse, and our people in our homes report to me
Yep.
and my partner every single week on every single individual and how they're doing
Right.
and what activities that they were doing that week and physical activity, etc. And we're very proud of that. And I'll tell you another thing that we do that is homegrown and very neighborly is that we have food catered in. And we use a local operator called Brightbox. And if you don't know Brightbox, you should know Brightbox. The Chris Patrick, the um, head chef at Abacus, started this, and he runs it, and he makes all the food, and they deliver it, and it is phenomenal. And it's just part of the exceptional experience that our residents have. Um, at this age, and most of our residents are at least in their 80s, most of them. They may run from kind of 70s to 90s, and that's just another reflection of our aging community. But they love to eat, and they love good food, and there are certain things that we can offer as an operator, and food is certainly one of them.
Well, I smelled the food when I was there visiting, and I mean, it's tremendous. I think it was the French fries smelled and looked just like the ones I'd had on a cruise a few years ago, and I was, made by a French chef. So it definitely, the food is amazing. But you're talking about the growing population. Let's kind of jump over to that because there is a phenomenon called the Silver Tsunami, and you are at sort of at the tip of the iceberg of this with this incredible business that you got into. And did you ever think you would be in this business when you were younger in business school or just starting out?
Not ever,
Not
not ever.
ever.
And I really didn't. And I was working with friends, helping them in this industry. But point of fact is, once you get into this industry and you recognize the good that is done in this industry, what we deliver to these families, the peace of mind, it's a blessing. And I'm thrilled to be here. And you're right. Our company is well positioned. And so let's talk about that. The Silver
Yeah.
Tsunami.
The
Uh,
Silver Tsunami, I love it.
the reality is that when people reference the Silver Tsunami, they're talking about your group of baby boomers who
Yep.
who are running through the aging process, and that there's going to be an increase statistically within 30 years. That 20% of Americans are going to be over the age of 65, and this
20% of Americans over 65.
20% over 65. And so, really, it's something that everybody should stop and think about for a
Think
moment
about, yeah,
what
yeah,
that means. Because what that means is that they're going to, social services, what's going to be necessary to support a large aging population, because everybody understands the baby boomers and the fact that there are tens of millions more baby boomers than Gen Z and other generations. And the point is that it's this big bowl that just kind of moves along. And so as the baby boomers age, there are going to be issues with caregivers, having enough caregivers.
right.
And the other thing that we need to think about is Texans and being in Dallas and in the real estate in Dallas. Texas is a growing market. And so we have a lot of people moving into our state, and there's high demand for real estate. And that's good, because part of the baby boomers moving through here, the Silver Tsunami, is that there's more housing on the market, as they age and they move into places like ours. So it's an incredibly fascinating phenomena, the Silver Tsunami. But I'll tell you this, we're right now caring for the parents, your parents,
Mhm.
and people in the baby boomer age. We're dealing with their parents, and so this is all these statistics I'm telling you are for 20 to 30 years out.
Mhm.
This business is going to grow for a long
Yeah.
time. There's a lot of growth. There's certainly no lack of growth or opportunity.
Absolutely not. And I love that when you start to think about it, that we're kind of in the real estate business, we're kind of feeding you because we're bringing all these people here, giving them great homes. And then they're going to live in that home for, like you said, 20 years. And then pretty soon they're going to say, okay, we need to downsize. We need to do something, we need to go somewhere where there's a little bit less maintenance involved. And so we are kind of feeding your business, which I love. So we kind of work together hand in hand that way.
It's absolutely true. Everything is all interconnected. It's the beauty that as Texans, we don't you don't realize it when you're living in the middle of it. But the economy is so good. Texas is attractive to people coming in. If you look nationally at statistics on the real estate side, they'll tell you how many more millions of homes are going to be available as a result of the baby boomers
Right.
aging out and downsizing, doing exactly what you described.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in Texas, here in Dallas, demand is so high, people are just going to suck that up. And
House
buy
down the
homes.
street from me went on the market 5 days ago and it's under contract. Things are very, very hot here. I know one of our biggest problems, of course, is finding inventory. So we're going to bring all these people here. You've got inventory. You've got tons of people. What are you guys thinking about expansion for the future? Because obviously this model is great. I mean, it's a success. It's nurtured, it's well cared for, and it's growing, and you're so successful. Surely you will look to expand somehow.
Well, we are very opportunistic, and as opportunities present themselves, as property becomes available,
Hmm.
we will look at that to develop it. There are zoning challenges that we have,
Hmm.
and at the same time, I will tell you that people at the city have approached us, recognizing the value that an operation like ours offers to the community. Certainly, we know that people whose families have lived with us, loved ones have lived with us, are the first ones to attest to the value of having a neighborhood operator like us.
Right.
And so that's exactly what certain city representatives have said to us, that they would like for us to look at expanding in other places. Our challenge is having the right level of scale where we can be affordable to more people. Because
Yeah,
right now, when we have a lot of staff caring for your loved one, it's expensive.
it
And so
is. And you
that's the
you hire good staff, and that staff needs to be paid.
oh, by the way, you put your finger on, kind of I mean, that's the gem of our operation is our staff. And so you're right, the longevity of the staff, the history that they have with us, and the staff, just by definition, I mean, they're expensive. But you get what you pay for. It's a classic
Ab-
case. You
Absolutely.
really get what you pay for. And so we're
Absolutely.
most proud of our staff and what they represent as they represent us, caring. But you're exactly right. They're expensive, and so our ability to grow particularly in residential areas, will be a function of working with the city and finding a path for our growth.
Well, I'm a great believer in compensating employees well so that they perform well, and they should be compensated well for that. And that's why you were probably one of the only, if not the few, assisted living centers in the country that had zero COVID problems. And I'm gonna knock on wood right here. There's a table right under me that's solid wood. But and of course, I was with Sandy and Brian when this all started. Sandy last month, we talked about, I talked to her the day after she finished vaccinating everyone, which happened a month ago. And you know, I just think that is just the testament to the local control, the local ownership. Really, we should have your homes in every neighborhood in America.
Well, I told you we were exceptional,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely true. We've had no cases of COVID.
Mhm.
None of our residents have contracted the virus, and I'm knocking on wood over here.
Mhm.
And none of our staff.
No.
And at this juncture, we've had every single resident receive a vaccine, and we've had every one of our staff receive a vaccine in our homes. So, and this was important to us because the kind of families that bring their loved ones to us are the kind of families that want to be in the home with
Mhm.
their loved ones. So they want to visit. and we're used to having families there every single day. And so this pandemic has been horrible in that sense. But because we've had everybody vaccinated, because all our staff are vaccinated, because the residents are vaccinated, we have had an assist in helping our families get vaccinated themselves. But it will now allow us to relax our visitation policies, which had been pretty ironclad, but with great success because we've had, in a year, we've had no cases of COVID. And so that just tells people how we approach this pandemic and how we approach caring and protecting for our residents. But we're definitely relaxed. Our intention is to relax and to allow family to come in because the family, frankly, are very protective of their loved ones, and they're seeing that they're not bringing COVID to us as well.
That's so fabulous. Well, I just think you are one of the best business stories in this town, and we just love talking to you. And we want to come back and talk more about the Silver Tsunami because I think there's going to be many interesting housing applications in there too. One of the things we've written about so much is that the baby boomers are not going to age like any other group. We're totally different. There's a portion that will insist on staying in their home, hence, Cambridge Caregivers. There's some that, will not be able to stay in their home. There's some that are just going to go off to an island somewhere and live in Birkenstocks, I guess, and bikinis. I mean, we are the most individualized generation ever, I think. And we're a handful. So we're gonna just continue. So you're in a great business spot. Thank you so much for what you do. And thank you for sharing this information with us. We'll come back in a few weeks and talk again, and we want to hear more about what you're doing with the city too.
Great. Thank you, Candy. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.